And now we're making a fantastic chocolate chip cookie recipe that is just mouth-watering. The first thing we do is cream our butter and our sugars and our vanilla into a bowl. Now, when I say butter, I'm talking about a product called Earth Balance. This is a really, really wonderful product. Alka, perhaps you can show everyone what it looks like. I think it would be easier when you're trying to shop for it. It's a non-dairy butter. You can use it just like you use butter. Use it in baking. Use it on baked potatoes, sautéing, vegetables, anything you want. And it actually is very healthful in that there are no trans fats. Now, it looks like margarine. Margarine does contain trans fats, and they contribute to heart disease. So you really want to avoid trans fats. And it won't say trans fats on the label. It will say hydrogenated oil. So avoid that altogether by getting something like Earth Balance, which is so delicious.
It's very tasty, and it's really wonderful for a recipe like this, a cookie recipe, where the quality of the fat really matters.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, at this point what we're going to do is mix together our dry ingredients. We have our all-purpose flour, our salt, and our baking soda. Now, if you're sensitive to wheat, you can go ahead and use spelt flour or soy flour or some other flour in place of the all-purpose flour. So we just go ahead and put all of these three dry ingredients into our bowl.
Great. And the reason we're separating the dry ingredients from the wet ingredients is because you want to get the wet ingredients all mixed up and you want the dry ingredients all mixed up. You don't want to do that all at once because otherwise it becomes very glutinous and you really want to avoid that.
Exactly. So we've got our three dry ingredients and we mix them up.
Great. And now we're going to add not our eggs, but our egg replacer. This is a product, this particular product is Energy Egg Replacer, and it's basically just a starch that you mix with water and it acts like an egg in a baked good. So we mix this up with our sugars. That was a brown sugar and a white sugar, along with our Earth Balance, and we just mix that up. Alka, you had a tip about the egg replacer as well.
That's right. I like to take the egg replacer when you add the dry product to some water. I actually like to put it into a blender or a food processor, that's right, and just blend for a while because that whips in a lot of air. So that's nice for making things light and fluffy.
Exactly.
So it's really wonderful. Now, in addition to the egg replacer over here, and Colleen, that box replaces about 150 eggs. Is that correct?
Wow, that's a lot.
And it has a shelf life of forever.
Forever. I think so. It says it right there. It says forever.
Okay. We can also have flax seeds as an egg replacer. Flax seeds are lovely, and Colleen, you're going to tell us all why they're so wonderful.
Oh, well, they are wonderful. They are rich in omega-3 fatty acids. These are whole flax seeds. You absolutely must ground your flax seeds before you eat them.
Right.
Otherwise, they just go right through. So you really want to ground them up. And this is what you would make for your egg replacer as well.
That's right. And it's similar to the Energy insofar as what you do is you take your ground up flax seeds, you add water, and you whisk it up, and then that's your egg replacer.
And that's not the only way to eat flax seeds that are ground. I add them to my smoothies. You can add them to soup. You can add them to salads. Add them to oatmeal. And you really should get a few tablespoons of flax seeds every day ground so you can get your omega-3s. Now let's mix our dry and our wet together.
There we go.
That's great.
Yum, yum, yum. Cookies are coming up.
Thank you. They're coming fast. The other thing we'll add, obviously, is our chocolate chips.
Yeah, chocolate chips. These are chocolate chips. Now, you can get semi-sweet chocolate chips, bittersweet chocolate chips, or dark chocolate chips. They tend to be dairy-free. And my favorite...
Can I have the wooden spoon, Alka, please?
Oh, of course.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It starts to get tough as we mix them all up. Thank you. Your favorite?
My favorite non-dairy chocolate chips are the Ghirardelli chocolate chips, which you can get from any market at all.
That's true.
They're widely available.
That's true. And basically, they're dairy-free. Look at it on the label. If it says milk or casein, it's not dairy-free. The other thing I really want to encourage people to do is add nuts to their diet, and specifically to this recipe, you can add some walnuts, pecans, even peanuts would be great.
Yep. I read a study that indicated that people who consume nuts regularly actually weigh less than people who don't.
It's true. There's this misconception that we shouldn't have nuts because they have so much fat in them, and they do have fat, and they're good fats. They're omega-3s, they're monounsaturated. Walnuts are packed with monounsaturated and really necessary omega-3 fatty acids, just like the flax seeds. There's a notion that we can get our omega-3s only from fish. We hear about that a lot, and that's not the case. The fish fish get their omega-3s from the phytoplankton. So actually, it's a plant-based nutrient.
And of course, with the fish, you're getting those extra packets of mercury and heavy metals and other pollutants.
Absolutely. I think we tend to focus on sound bites that we hear, and we're misinformed. I think we tend to focus on the source of the nutrient as opposed to the nutrient itself. So when we hear about protein, the first thing we think about is eggs or meat. When we hear about calcium, the first thing we think of is
milk.
Cow's milk specifically. And when we hear about omega-3s, we think about fish. And we just wanted to show you that you could think about some other things too.
Exactly.
So basically mixing this up, if you were using a mixer, this would be a little faster. And if you weren't talking to Alka, it would be a lot faster as well. So
that's
basically,
looking great.
That's it. So maybe you can whip that up a little more. I'll get
sure.
the cookie sheet. Now you would drop this on a cookie sheet. You don't need to put any oil on the cookie sheet. We already have enough oil from the earth balance.
This looks great, Colleen.
Isn't that great? Mm-hmm. And we'll just drop it in with a tablespoon. You can use your hand, whatever. I like to use a measuring spoon to create uniform sizes, especially when you're serving them. They look much more elegant that way.
Yeah.
So I just stick a little bit of the batter into the 1/3 cup in this case. Pop them on the cookie sheet, and you have your cookies.
There we go.
So we can do a couple here, or we can just show them the finished product.
That's a great idea.
Here we are. Aren't they beautiful? And what do you think we should serve these with, Alka?
Some nice soy milk, maybe?
Some soy milk, some rice milk. Just beautiful. I think you'll really enjoy these. I think we have to go so we can go eat our cookies.
Yeah, we do.